Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com, offer of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. So the question of the day is, why do people lie, and how do I deal with pathological liars? Why do people lie, and how do I deal with pathological lies? How do I deal with people that lie all the time? Not sometimes, all the time. And why do people lie? Now, if you're like me, when I was growing up, let me tell you a story. When I was growing up, I felt like, I think when I turned 19, I felt like something was going on out here. I was looking for answers. Nobody was telling me the truth. Everybody was saying everything else, saying everything but the truth at the time. And it always seems like every time somebody told me to do something, or they gave me some type of advice, it always turned out to be wrong or incorrect or just a straight up lie. And see, this is why a lot of guys, younger guys, get frustrated, because everybody's lying to them. Your parents is lying to you. Your girlfriend's lying to you. Your wife's lying to you. People at school lying to you. People at college lying to you. People at your job lying to you. Everybody's lying to you. Everybody's saying everything but what the truth is really is. Anything that happens to you, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you have an encounter with a cop. I don't care if you get mistreated on your job. I don't care if you get mistreated by women or rejected by women. Or regardless of what it is, everyone has an answer to your problem. And most of the time, they're going to justify why whatever happened to you happened. And most of the time, it's a lie. It's not really the truth. It sounds good. It's good for coffee talk. And this is what I experienced when I was in my early 20s. And until I left home, and I just said, the hell with that. I'm gonna just find my own way out here, because almost no one was willing to tell me how it really was out here, except for my parents. Now, my parents, rest in peace to them, they never lied to me. This is one thing that I respect the most about my parents. Every time I asked them a question, even if they didn't know the answer, they would go find the answer and come back later and tell me. They never lied to me, regardless of what questions I had at any given time. That's one thing I respect about my parents more than anybody else. Because a lot of these other people that I met over the years, it was the exact opposite for them. Their parents like got real uncomfortable whenever they really whenever someone asked their parents what was really going on with them, why this happened, why that happened. Other groups of people that I've met, their parents are almost like didn't want to talk about it, or just shut them down, or whatever the case is. But I think I kind of got lucky, especially at the time when I was growing up. So most people lie because they feel like they have to get what they want. This is the way to do it. Some people say I'm protecting them, or protecting a certain group of people, or protecting myself. I don't want to hurt their feelings. Then you got some people who say, well, I just didn't know what to say, or all kinds of reasons. And some people are just not confident. Some people feel like they're not enough. They feel like if they were to be themselves, they probably would lose their livelihood, their way of living. The person wouldn't want to be around them. You know, so there's a lot of reasons why people lie. But that shouldn't matter to you. What should matter to you is how to tell if people are lying. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. Now, as far as how to deal with people when they lie, well, first things first, I assume that whatever comes out of their mouth is a lie anyway, until proven otherwise. And let me tell you something that I used to do. Every once in a while I'll do this, but I just play around with it, but I don't take it serious. If I know someone's a chronic liar, pathological liar, most of the time, you know, they'll tell half-truths a lot. They're not going to tell you the whole truth and absolutely the truth. It's usually 50-50 type deal. Half truth, half lie. So I just assume that whatever comes out of their mouth is a lie until proven otherwise. So the thing that you don't want to do, like I used to do, I used to challenge them. I used to say, yeah, I got you, bitch. I got you on audio, video. You saying this and saying that a couple of weeks ago. You don't want to do that. Don't do that. Because that's not going to go over well. That's not, because that's going to start some type of confrontation with them, and it's just not going to go well. You're not going to really get anything. Nothing positive is going to come out of that, you know. Now, hopefully, you didn't marry this woman, man or woman, and hopefully you didn't have a kid with this man or woman. Now, if you had a kid with a woman, and she's a pathological liar, oh my goodness. Now it's a different ball game. Now you have to kind of keep the peace. You don't want to be confrontational. You assume everything is a lie until proven otherwise, and you know you kind of. You don't really want to get them upset because you don't really know how this is gonna go. And sometimes you might be thinking that certain situations will come up, especially if you live with this person, and you be thinking, what side are you on? Sometimes you be thinking that this person is on the other side. You might be thinking this person is against you sometimes, and they really are, because what happens is we have to realize most pathological liars they don't have no empathy. They don't have that skill. They don't have that skill set. You have to realize that lying is a skill set within itself. It really is, because they do it all the time, and they've been doing it for a long time. So they have no empathy for you. They can't put themselves in your shoes. You know, and as a matter of fact, if you've been following me for a while, the stuff that I talk about, like teamwork and coming together and family building and all that stuff, that goes against everything that they stand for. They don't want to hear none of that shit. You know, as a matter of fact, if you go around, you can probably catch some people, some pathological liars, and you know, because a lot of them tend to be sociopaths and psychopaths. If you start talking about family building, making money and all this stuff with your friends and family, you might get a different reaction out of them. Their body language will start to show. Their eyes will start going from left to right. So they'll get very uncomfortable, because you know, people will tell you who they are if you stay around them long enough, and if you keep quiet long enough, because they can't see that far. They don't have that skill set. They have no empathy. They can't put themselves in your shoes. They can't, you know, see things from your point of view. They don't believe in no win-win. to them it's either a win or it's either wins and losses to them. And if they have to sacrifice you to do it, well, so be it. You know, they don't believe in, they don't really care nothing but no family. That way of thinking in their mind doesn't really exist. So if you're dealing with a pathological liar, you're dealing with somebody with some serious mental issues, psychological issues. I mean, they can't see how family is important. I mean, they only see things where it's like, how's this gonna benefit me? That's how they see it. How's this gonna help me get more freedom? That's how they see it. I mean, and if they have to lie, cheat, or do whatever, then so be it. And some of these women that I've been around, they start acting a little strange sometimes too. It doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while they'll start doing something that's strange or weird, like weird behavior. You know, and it varies, of course it varies from woman to woman, but they'll start saying things that's weird and strange. They'll start saying things that they don't normally say or normally do around you. And you know, so, cause you know, they're kind of socially awkward at times, and when people come around, you know, they really don't know how to act. They kind of go overboard. They start doing too much. You know, there's you can act nice, treat people nice, but they kind of, you know, they start asking too many damn questions. You know, they start acting like no one ever came to see y'all before. You know, so that's, you know, they just don't have those skill sets. You know, they just don't know who they are. They don't know. They feel like they have to be somebody else. It's all about putting on a show. It's like being on stage for them, you know. So what you have to understand is a lot of these women, they're studying you. They're looking at all your habits, everything you like to do, and they're looking for weaknesses. They're looking for things that they can take advantage of. They're looking for for ways that they can manipulate you. And, you know, these women tend to be very great communicators. You know, they listen well. They don't forget anything. Very little. You know, they'll do almost anything in the beginning, especially when you first meet them. But they cannot consistently do that though. That's the thing. They can't consistently be nice. They can't do it. And see, what usually happens is when things start not going well, maybe, I don't know, something like, maybe you lose your job, maybe you got in an accident, or maybe you start doing something that she doesn't like or just can't tolerate, and that's when she's gonna show her true self. You know, she's just, because like I said, they can't really consistently, they're not consistent. They're going to drop the ball at some point, regardless of how manipulative or charismatic or regardless of how much of a great communicator or a good listener she is. And these people these women will look you in the eyes and lie to you and smile. And see, the mistake that I used to make is I used to check them. Right? I used to check them all the time. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's not gonna. She's not gonna see things the way you see it. It's not gonna be any type of resolution or solution out of the conversation if you bring it up to her and bring it to her attention at all. It's not gonna go nowhere. because in her mind, everything else is everybody else's fault. It's your fault. It's everybody else's fault. It's her parents' fault. It's the person at the job fault. It's not wrong with her. Doesn't matter how she look. She might be fat, sloppy, skinny. She might be nice looking and very attractive. Doesn't matter how physically she look. Doesn't matter what kind of habits she has. Doesn't matter how many times she's been in and out of the hospital based on her bad habits, her lifestyle. None of that's her fault. It's always somebody else's fault. As a matter of fact, you can do stuff for her. You can look out for her. And she's acting like she's gonna be ungrateful. She'll act like if you go to the hospital, take her to the hospital or take her to the doctor or whatever, she'll give the people at the hospital, at the doctor's office, a hard time. She'll act like they're doing her a disservice just because she came in there. She'll feel like, hey, this is not good service, I should be treated better than this. I'm like, hey, you're at a hospital, yo. There's no such thing as a good hospital or a good doctor's office. You shouldn't be here in the first place. But she doesn't see it that way because she sees it as, hey, this is just normal routine to her. If I gotta go to the doctor, if I gotta go to the hospital, I just gotta go. But she doesn't see anything wrong with that. And if something happens to you, if you have to go to the doctor or hospital, God forbid, and you're around her, she won't reciprocate, more than likely. If you do reciprocate, it'll be because she's afraid what you might do to her. So it'll stem from fear. But more than likely, if something happens to you, regardless of what you looked out for her in the past, she won't reciprocate in return. And if she doesn't reciprocate in return, and if you try to talk to her afterwards and say, hey, what's up with that? How come I had your back? How come you can't get my back? She'll be like, I just didn't have time. And if she do it, she'll be dragging. And then if you bring that to her attention, you say, hey, how come when I need help, you're dragging, you're all tired. And when I got your back, hey, I'm there. How come you can't have that same energy as I do when it's my turn? And she'll be like, well, I don't know. I was just tired, that's all. She won't think anything's wrong with it. Because she has no empathy for you. No compassion. They don't have that skill set. They don't have it. So, to argue with these types of people is just a waste of time. To make sense and try to persuade them to your way of thinking is a waste of time. The best thing to do is to find the way to keep the peace. Just keep the peace with them, and hopefully you don't have kids with them. That way you won't have anything to keep you there. But ultimately, you have to plan to get away from them. You have to plan to get away from them. And the reason why you have to plan to get away from them, because it's very stressful to be around people like this. Because if you're around people that don't care about you, have no empathy for you, that will do almost anything to sacrifice you in order for them to have more freedom, that's a bad situation. That's a recipe for disaster. It's only a matter of time before something happens, and you're gonna find yourself in a tight situation with this person, and it's just not going to go well. So you have to plan to get away from these types of people. That's, and my PS, and by the way, I'm not a psychologist, not at all. I'm just telling you my experience and what I've done, but but just keep in mind, you're only as strong as the people that you have around you. If you're around manipulative type people that don't care about you, don't like you, don't have your best interests, people that you can't build anything with, people that don't push you forward, people that only hold you back, you're not going to progress very far in life. And this is why a lot of people, a lot of guys I know, don't do very much in life, because they find themselves in tight situations and they don't know how to get out. I mean, you don't gotta stay in that shit. I mean, you can lay in it, but you ain't gotta stay in it. So that's all I'm saying, you know. So hey, if you like what you heard, give me a thumbs up. Share this video with anybody that you think would like it. Check out my website, badboysecretsclub.com. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/sharpgame. The links will be below this video. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.